Welcome! Today, we're going to be exploring some really timeless wisdom on building a successful marriage, all drawn from Pandit Sri Ram Sharma Acharya's incredible work, Dampatya Jivan Ke Swarnam Sutra, which translates to the Golden Principles of Married Life.
You know, so many couples start out with these vibrant, beautiful dreams for their future, right? But over time, they find that joy just fading away. It's a pretty common story. So we're going to look at why that happens, and, more importantly, how you can cultivate a marital garden that doesn't just survive, but truly blooms for a lifetime.
So here's the path we're going to take in this explainer. First, we'll talk about the gap between the dream and the reality. Then we'll dive into building a really strong foundation, how to face the inevitable challenges, and why the daily practice of love is so crucial. And finally, we'll see how a healthy marriage can become what the book calls a fragrant garden for the whole world. Okay, let's get into it.
Every marriage really does begin as this beautiful dream, but turning that dream into a lasting reality, well, that takes more than just hope. It actually requires practical wisdom and a real solid intention right from day one.
A lot of couples jump into marriage full of passion, which is great, but they're often totally unaware of the practical skills you need to keep that passion alive. And without that know-how, that initial fire can turn into frustration, causing the whole connection to just wilt, kind of like a flower that isn't watered.
So, how do we actually build something that's meant to last? It all starts with the foundation. You see, a strong marriage isn't built on those fleeting, passionate moments. It's built on a deep, consistent connection that feeds the relationship right from the roots up.
And here we get to a really key distinction. Now, of course, physical intimacy is part of a marriage, but it's the mental and emotional connection, that meeting of minds, almost like the bond between the best of friends, that creates true, lasting devotion. Relying too much on the physical side can actually lead to a kind of weariness over time. The real strength, the real foundation comes from the mind.
This quote from the book just says it perfectly. True, lasting intimacy is about minds and spirits meeting, a connection that doesn't fade, but actually gets deeper and stronger over time, creating something really special, something almost sacred.
You know how it is. Life gets incredibly busy, right? Especially when kids and careers come along. But it is so important not to neglect what the book calls a mental hunger for companionship. It's absolutely essential to carve out just a little time each day that belongs only to the two of you, with no distractions, to feed that fundamental need to connect. Let's be real. No garden is without its storms, and no marriage is without its challenges. A strong marriage isn't one that has no problems. It's one that has learned how to navigate those problems together as a team.
So when disagreements pop up, and they will, the goal should never be about winning the argument. The real goal is to grow, to understand each other better. That means you've got to avoid being stubborn, you have to actually listen, and you have to be willing to see your partner's side of things. It's about solving the problem together, not about proving you were right. Oh, this is so important. Forgiveness. It's absolutely vital. We all make mistakes. We're all human. So instead of blowing those arrows up and letting resentment build, it's so much better to just see them for what they are, simple human weaknesses. That perspective stops small issues from chipping away at the foundation of love.
The book describes possessiveness as a kind of poverty of the heart, a narrowness that actually hurts the relationship. Remember, your partner was a son or daughter, a sibling, a friend before they were your spouse. Honoring those other important connections in their life actually deepens their respect and love for you.
Trust is the whole game. It's the soil where the marriage tree puts down its roots. And you can think of jealousy as this big, hard rock in the ground that can stop those roots from growing. The only tool strong enough to break that rock is unwavering trust. So instead of believing rumors or making assumptions, trust your partner enough to go to them directly.
A beautiful garden doesn't just happen on its own, right? It needs daily watering, daily care. And in exactly the same way, love isn't just some feeling you have, it's a daily practice. So let's look at the small, consistent things you can do that keep love vibrant.
Life can get so routine, so monotonous. That's why it is so important to break things up. A simple walk together, picking up a shared hobby, or even just a small, fun outing can totally refresh your spirits and keep the relationship from feeling stale.
Okay, now this is a really interesting idea because it seems a little counterintuitive, but the book suggests that a little time apart can be really healthy. A short, planned separation, maybe a partner visiting their family for a few days, can be a powerful reminder of just how much you value each other, and it can really rekindle that appreciation. Never, ever underestimate the power of sincere appreciation. The book calls praise a magical art, and it really is one of the most powerful tools you have for building a happy home. And you know the best part? It's an art that anyone can learn and practice.
So how do you practice this magical art? Well, first, be specific. Praise the action or the effort. Second, be generous with it. And this is a big one. Don't fall into the trap of thinking, well, it's just their duty. Acknowledging the effort someone puts in is what makes them feel truly seen and valued.
This is such a critical question to ask yourself. Before you jump to conclusions and assume you're being ignored, try to understand what's going on. The pressures from work, from life, they can weigh heavily on someone. A little bit of empathy can prevent a massive misunderstanding.
And this brings us to a really crucial rule. Even when you're angry, respect has to be there. Harsh words and insults cause damage that is incredibly hard to undo. The harmony of your home is always, always more important than winning a fight.
So finally, when a marriage is cared for and nurtured day in and day out, it does more than just create happiness for two people. It actually becomes a source of light and stability and inspiration for everyone around them.
This quote is just so beautiful because it shows us the true potential of a marriage. It's not just a private thing. It's a sacred responsibility that has a positive ripple effect reaching far, far beyond just the two of you. Okay, let's bring it all home. These are the core principles we've covered: the seeds, the water, and the sunlight for your marital garden. Just remember, it's a journey, one that requires continuous, conscious effort from both people. And that's really the final moral here. Nurturing your relationship is one of the most meaningful things you can do, not just for yourselves, but for everyone. So I'll leave you with this question. What's one small thing you can do today to help your own garden bloom? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer.